Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. I was watching the hell today of the spring. Yeah, I watched a lot. Watched one that kind of made me go like, excuse me? This robot mecha anime that came out. They got penguins and, oh god, I don't even want to talk about this. It's so weird. But I'll watch that. I'm not reviewing it though. No way. I also watched a few others. Um, uh, Irregular at High School, Magic High School. Last night I watched Akuma no Riddle. Whoa! Akuma no Riddle. Yo, that goes hard in the freaking paint. You know that term, it's a basketball term. Yeah. That shows. But enough of that. Kenichi. Silver's Rayleigh. Yeah. He says I had to change the thing on my channel because I don't review it on Fridays anymore. Well, you know, it's within that area. But I changed for Friday, Saturday. But anyway, this chapter. I'm a little disappointed in this chapter. Because I thought in this chapter we were going to go see more of Kenichi's fight. But instead we switch gears and we go to the Masters. And the Disciples. I guess it's easier to do it that way. You have Kenichi one chapter, and then the next chapter you venture off to the other people. So I guess that's what they're doing in this chapter. Now, so Israeli, he a sub. I believe he's a sub. I'm not sure. He gives me info. He gives me info on all the disciples and stuff. So, you know, that was good for him to show me. Now, in this chapter, we pretty much have the fight with the Masters in the beginning. It gets pretty crazy. And then the name of the chapter is 564, The Time of Demise. Listen, the Masters they look fucked. Okay? You know, it looks pretty damn grim for them. The disciples, though, doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be. They're holding their own against the disciples of the weapons team and Yomi. So, yeah. And pretty much we have the beginning. We have, we basically have Apachai and Akisame, and they're blocking all these arrows. And we have Ogata saying it was fun while it lasted, and he's like, we see Akisame saying, shoot him, ah! You know, and we have, her name eludes me, but then again, I got a little thing from Silver's Rayleigh, so I know her name now. It's, Chikage's, master. Her. She came into to the forefront here, and she ends up fighting the guy who helped out, Shigure. You know, with the hoe. And she ends up fighting him. You know, the guy's name was Kagero, don't know, he calls her. And she calling him basically a manslayer of darkness. You know, basically telling him, let us see what your ability is, what kind of ability it has gifted. The time of demise looms near. And he's like, invite you to Hades, prepare yourself. So it turns out that things are looking very grim for them. And he does a sword technique on her, and it doesn't really do anything. She blocks it. And she pretty much owns him. Because there's this move called Earth Burying Slam. Kushanada. That's her name. Kushanada, I believe. Kushanada. And she pretty much owns him. Then she goes after Freya's master, and it gets pretty crazy. And then we get this move with Akisame. He comes in and he just hits her in the back. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy fight. Of course, that doesn't really do anything, because even though he was able to do that, he's you know, basically an opening target there. just lying there. And then he ends up getting, I think, hit with a few of the arrows. And she mentions the fact that, when it comes to protecting allies in their time of need, you do that. And then we have that girl, the one with the arrows, and she says, gotcha. And then she hits Sakaki's arm, but Akisame catches them. And we have, then the rest, we just have her, Kushinada, going through and asking how are things progressing. It's about time. And basically we have Saiga just explaining to her it's moving along, the plan to with the missiles and stuff. And and basically saying that America is going to not help Japan, I guess. Time has gone, come and gone, appeared and vanished, and been reborn into the world for 100 years. Lightning strikes under the sun. And that's pretty much the story here. And she mentions this while she's fighting Kensei. A world where people do not fight is more inferior than cattle, empty and void of meaning. And she pretty much just takes out Apachai and Kensei and everyone. I was just like, damn. They're pretty much taken care of. History has proven people in the midst of battle always show their true nature. And then we have a scene with Apachai on the ground. Kensei is kneeling. It looks like they're done, the masters. And I'm like, oh my god, this is bad. This is really bad. So, what that leads into is we then go from that to the disciples. And yeah, like I said, I got the rap sheet from Silver's Really. And basically what's going on here, we have Von Shira's disciple. That's the guy with the sword. The Claymore's kind of sword. His disciple is going up against Takeda. We have Shikamuragin, which is Rin's disciple. Shigure's brother, fighting Kisara. And that's on page 16. And 17, we got Mildred's disciple, who took off Kensei's hat in chapter 653. And then on page 18, we got top panel, Hyogo. And in the middle panel of that page, we have pretty much all of the non-weapon users. Yeah, so that's the rap sheet we get in this scenario. And the one fighting Kisara is basically saying you're using some weird hand gauntlets there. And she's basically replying to him, this is just a good old-fashioned armor. And I think it's kind of crazy. And we basically have not Takeda, it's the other one helping her, Yukita. And when it seems like that guy fighting Kisara is going in for the kill and Yukita gets in the way, Freya comes in to fight and face him off. And it kind of hits him and beats him up pretty badly. So it got to a pretty crazy start. And we also have got Siegfried fighting a few of the other disciples as well. He's even going up against the one who's got the bow and arrow, which is the disciple of the master. We saw before. And, we had that. And he's holding his own against her as well. So, it's kind of funny how the disciples are holding their own here. While the masters isn't. But then again, you're talking about two different things. And then on the last page, we obviously, in page 18, which is I believe is the last page. Well, there's one more page after that. Is the non-weapons, the hand-to-hand combat users aren't doing anything. Hermit, Berserker, all that. They're not doing anything. And basically one of them is saying, so you're the unarmed division, jump in here and give us a hand. And one of them, it's the one with the mask. I remember her from last time. And she's basically, jumps in, pretty much. And attacks, I think, Yukata. And the guy who's there, which I believe, according to Silver Israeli, what was his name? Mildred's disciple. Yeah. I believe that's Mildred's disciple. Let me just make sure of that. No, actually, no, it's not Mildred's. This is some other guy. And he's basically saying, are you planning on not doing anything? I could have sworn your master orders were not to overlook anyone. You're Kushinada-san's disciple, right? And we see Chikage. And she says, yes, understood. And that's pretty much what happened in this chapter. So, not much of Kenichi in this chapter, but, oh man, definitely giving this a 4.5 out of 5. But the Masters, man, shit. Damn. They just got owned. Oh my god, they need Ayato. I'm going to keep saying it. They need Ayato to get there. There's no way. But then again, the whole plan is for them to disable the missiles, but they're not going to disable anything if Kenichi can't beat this guy. So it's becoming a really hectic kind of a situation, and they need to get their act together, because shit. But I will say this: the disciples, Takeda, Siegfried, all those guys, they're holding their own. But the non-weapon users are lying in wait. So, you got to figure. But, hopefully next week we don't get too much of this fight. We'll go back to Kenichi. Because I really want to see what's going to happen to Kenichi. Because he looks fucked. He looks like he's going to... It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for the Masters. It doesn't look good for Kenichi. The disciples are holding their own. And when I mean disciples, I mean, Freya, Takeda, Siegfried, all those guys. They're holding their own against these guys. But now the non-weapons team are going to come in, and it's going to get pretty intense. So, good chapter. Like I said, 4.5 out of 5. Thank you, Silver Israeli, to keep, giving me information here and there about it. Man, this looks bad for the Masters. Oh man, I can't. I really can't see them unless Shigure comes in. If Shigure comes into play and helps them out, then I could see them having a chance to a certain extent. So, but still, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. On Bankai 922, yeah, it just got owned. Oh, man. That's what it looks like, man, guys. I'm telling you right now. They look like they got owned. But, in the long stand of things, they're really just a distraction. They're trying to get so they can stop the missiles. So, but if Kenichi next week can't stop Satomi, it's game over, man. Game over. I'm Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. Chikage is going to go in now. And then we got Kenichi. Man up. Come on, you can do this. I'll see you guys later. Peace.